We live in a time where people will fight to the death for an opinion that they never fact-checked. Everyone's talking, but nobody's thinking. This is the death of discernment. Welcome to the next episode here of today's Truth Podcast. I'm your host, Graham. I am running this one solo today as Dave and Ashley have both taken another week off. And today I'm going to be talking about the death of discernment. The way that information is not given properly. And let's be real. We are drowning in information. We've got 24/7 news feeds, podcasts, tweets, reels, breaking news banners every 10 minutes. But for all of that noise, people really are still confused. Everything seems legit when you read the headline. But when you actually read the story, things change. But most people don't read the story. And what's crazy is a tweet with no fact check, no nothing, coming from a source, maybe not even reputable, gets more attention than an investigative report that took months to write on the same topic. But because that one post went viral, that one tweet had 1 million people watch it or read it or whatnot, they believe that. That is the story that goes into the headline, not the actual investigation. Nobody wants to read that because of that one tweet. We have to learn to discern, is that tweet correct or not? And how do we do that? That's simple. It's critical thinking. Someone's 30-second hot take gets 1 million views while the facts get ignored 99% of the time. And it's because we don't seek truth anymore. We seek validation, and we just want somebody to tell us that we're right. And this is incredibly disappointing because the media has literally monopolized on this. They are using emotion as the new currency. Once they figured it out that they can make you feel, they don't need to make you think anymore. And that's where critical thinking and discernment comes into play. We have to think critically, and we have to process and fact check things for ourselves. Otherwise, we're just playing into the narrative. We are just playing in and giving up our emotional currency to them. And it's not something with these headlines where it's like, here, this is what happened. It's, you won't believe what happened. And that's where they catch you. Headlines aren't written to inform. They're written to provoke. And you see that with 99% or more of news headlines. It is ridiculous, so common, and it's honestly an outrage market. They're not reporting, they're selling. Like I said, it's not here's what happened. It's you won't believe what happened. And in saying that, they're monopolizing. They're selling that story. And the bad part is most of the population is buying it. And we shouldn't be. We should be thinking through, okay, are they credible? No, probably not. 99% of news media or outlets, 99% of influencers are not credible because they don't tell you both sides. They tell you one side, or they tell you a spin off of a side. They tell you just enough that it looks like it could be real, like it looks like it's almost right. And we share the story, not because it's true, but because it made us angry, or because the headline made us believe it was true. And this happens far too easily. The media has gotten so good at it that we sit there, we read a headline, and before we even read it, we share it because that headline sparks something inside. It played on our emotions. But the emotions isn't the problem. The tactics of the media isn't the problem. All of that can be negated with one simple thing. Critical thinking. And the problem with critical thinking is it's not popular. It's slow, it's uncomfortable, and it requires humility. And uncomfortable and humility are two things that, unfortunately, the population doesn't like. They don't want to be humble. They don't want to have humility. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They want the easiest, quickest, least intrusive way. So they don't want to think for themselves. Schools don't teach it. Social media doesn't award it. And politics definitely doesn't encourage it. But that's another reason why we need to do it. If they aren't teaching it and they're not rewarding it and not encouraging it, it means that they're scared of it. And the truth isn't scared of discernment. The lies are scared of discernment. We've replaced analysis with emotion and discernment with drama because the lies are afraid of discernment, and we fold into that far too often. And that's where we're getting played. So often we're getting played because we're not discerning, we're not critically thinking. And discernment itself isn't knowing what's right from wrong. It's knowing what's almost right. And like I said just a few minutes ago, that's where they're getting us. That's where they're playing us the hardest, is the almost right. The details being almost correct. Where you start to say, okay, well, that sounds right. You know, that headline, that sounds true. Yeah, I'm going to go with that, without critically thinking and discerning. And when discernment dies, manipulation thrives. We see that with the media all the time. They will manipulate a story in order to make it more viewed. It's not about telling the truth. And our critical thinking, our discernment, factoring together will help us to realize which stories are fake and which stories are real. Because in all reality, fake stories become real divisions, and rumors turn into riots. The power doesn't vanish when people stop thinking. It consolidates. So the media has power because people stop thinking, and they keep consolidating that power. They keep getting more and more of it. We've got to let them go. We have to get rid of their grip on society and not let them have that manipulation over us. And we get so polarized, angry, and defensive about these topics when the truth is sitting in the middle, collecting dust because we didn't go and find it. It is time we step out. We become serious and we think about it. We really ponder it. And here's something for you. When was the last time that we all agreed on something true? Think about it for a second. I, for the life of me, cannot remember a time when we all agreed on something true. And the solution to all of this isn't complicated. It's just incredibly rare. Slow down, cross-check. Ask why, not what. When we're asking why and we're not cross-checking, we're going to believe the next bit of information that comes to us. Because we're not fact-checking the beginning, we're not fact-checking the new information, we're not fact-checking anything. The truth doesn't fear investigation, lies do. Just like I stated earlier, discernment and seeking the truth go hand in hand. Critical thinking goes with seeking the truth. When there's lies, there's fear of critical thinking and discernment. And also, if you're thinking about something, you're being critical about it, you're discerning it, but you don't know yet, don't be afraid. Be okay with saying, well, I don't know yet. Don't let your feelings be the fact checker that makes you make a decision or say something pre-fact check. You have to look through everything because there's nowhere out there that is going to give you the 100% truth. You're going to get a side on one and a side on the other, bits and pieces in the middle sprinkled together. You have to fact check. You have to think critical, and you have to research for yourself. And for the love of sanity and all that is good, read the article, not just the headline. Because, folks, we can bring discernment back. We can bring critical thinking back. We just have to want it more than we want to be right. Because sometimes critical thinking and discernment means being wrong. And we have to not be afraid of that. And we have to bring back critical thinking. We have to force the media's hand to start reporting truthfully again. Because if we all band together and we're critically thinking, we're discerning, we're fact-checking, we're researching, they aren't going to be able to manipulate us with these stories. The war for your mind isn't fought with bullets. It is fought with headlines. And the best defense is discernment and critical thinking. And I want to say that again because it's so powerful. The war for your mind isn't fought with bullets, weapons, anything like that. It is fought with headlines, with stories, with news articles. It is fought with emotional manipulation, using your emotions as currency, and we've got to stop buying into it. And with that, I want to thank you all for turning into today's Truth Podcast. If this episode has hit you, please like, comment, and share. Let's make thinking and critical thinking and discernment cool again. Let's make that happen. And as always on this podcast, I invite all of you to tune in to Turning Point USA. Support them. Become a volunteer with them. If you're a young person, high school, college, start a chapter in your high school, in your college, on your campus. Be that change. Start that critical thinking now. Because if this next generation starts thinking critically, it is going to massively transform our entire country and the entire world. Thanks again for tuning into today's Truth Podcast, and I hope to see you on the next one.